Hello and welcome to the third episode of House Pod. Welcome back. Phil, how are you doing?
Yeah, good. I think this will be an interesting one for people to listen to. The Enigma has been on, and has spilt all as well as he possibly could.
He was, yeah. I mean, I've learned a lot about Barton, if I'm honest. I feel like there's still a lot of layers to unwrap as well. I'm not...
Oh, he is the proverbial onion.
Yes, he is an onion. He has all the layers, and he cry. No, he does the opposite as well. So yeah, it's definitely worth the listen. There's probably need an 18 plus on this one as well, don't we? At the start, there's a few potty mouths there. I think he got nervous, didn't he? His Tourette's came out. Yeah, so
his mum won't be impressed. His mum will not be impressed with that language.
No, maybe we can bleep it out, but maybe at the same time, I might do that in the edit. It's just easier to put a slide in at the front. So now we're what, week 4 of pre-season now? Going well.
Something like that.
Something like that. Feels like about 3 years for me. It was a good session this week. I was sick Tuesday. Yesterday I wasn't sick, so my fitness is improving in my eyes. Is that how it works?
Yeah, why not? Well, maybe it's because you didn't eat at 5:30.
That's true. I didn't have 2 pork loins and pork chops and some pesto pasta. I had some cheese and onion crisps actually yesterday, and a sandwich.
Oh, did you?
5 o'clock.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
Interesting. So last week, before we had a little chat about Leicester, I think they listened to the pod and spent some cash, didn't they?
Well, they obviously took our advice and realised that they had a weakened side, so they've made 6 acquisitions in this week, including some massive names. So they got Murivalu, Marini, Wallace, who used to play for Harlequins, Cobus van Dijk, Guy Porter, and a South African Vice. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. I've never heard of him before. Yeah. But that's called strengthening one's team. Yes,
and getting rid of a few players clearly that they were costing them too much, and thought, we'll get some cheapers in, and they've done some good deals by the looks of things.
I mean, it's just phenomenal. He, Murivalu is one of the most revered backs in the French league, or has been one of the revered backs in the French league, and they've really strengthened the back 3. It's going to be quite good to, well, you say it's going to be quite good to watch. I think, the forward pack at Leicester hasn't been what it was for a few years.
No.
As long as they can get the ball to the backs, then they might be in good stead. However, that pitch at Welford Road is quite narrow. You're not leaving much space for the 3 amigos at the back there to do anything. But I'm sure they'll find a way.
Their front row's got some yellow cards in them, haven't they?
Yeah.
So they've seen Genji, Youngs, and Dan Cole. That's at least one a game, sure.
Yeah.
Not sure that's the safest front 3.
It's a very wide range of personalities as well in that front row.
Yes. None of them I'd want to piss off necessarily.
No, but you've got Ellis Genge, who's obviously kind of quite outspoken and chipper and young and fun. Dan Cole, who is quite literally the opposite, who's quiet, shy, old and boring. And then Tom Youngs, who's a farmer by heart and kind of probably the toughest man I've ever met in my life.
Is he as hard off the pitch?
No, he's really quite nice.
Oh, is he?
He's a really nice lad, yeah. I got on with him quite well. But yeah, he's. I mean, there's a video on YouTube of Nottingham v Neath, and it's the highlights of the game. And halfway through, a fight kicks off, and if you watch it closely, I'm on the floor and someone treads on my head, and Tom Youngs comes in and starts throwing about 50 haymakers, and it ends up being a 30-man brawl. But yeah, or a 29-man brawl, because I seem to remember Andrew Savage not leaving his far wing to come and join the fray.
What is it with wingers? Honestly, they'll see it happen. They just kind of turn to the sideline and go, "Am I meant to?"
Is that me? Are we doing this or?
This wasn't in the team talk. What are we doing? Just run forward. That's all we've told them. Just run forward. You'd be able to see that intelligence of wingers very shortly, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that they had no choice but to strengthen, didn't they? But they've definitely shut us up. I'm kind of hoping that this is going to be unpopular on a Midlands pod, but I'm kind of hoping it doesn't come to fruition and then actually be really good next season. Because I like the fact that the Southwest is where majority of the decent rugby is going to be played next year. But yeah, it's good. It's going to be interesting.
I don't know. Saracens will still have a good team, mate. They just won't be in the same league.
I mean, that's true. Maybe they want a warm-up friendly against Paz.
Yeah, I mean, Championship, Midlands Premier, much of the same.
The same, innit? International tens, George Billam, who again wasn't available for the pod.
No.
He's a nightmare.
No effort. I think on the Saracens thing, the BBC, as poor as most of their coverage is, there was quite a funny headline that they'd obviously had an interview with Vunipola, and they said, being in the Championship will bring the squad a lot closer together. And my initial reaction was like, yeah, mate, you wait till you get down to Pirates' changing room, mate. You'll be sitting on each other's laps. They weren't closer together.
What's the worst changing room you've been to?
Moseley, they've got a new stand now, which has got change rooms in it. But when they were in the Championship, the whole clubhouse was essentially a caravan on wheels. A house on wheels, and the change rooms were at the back of that in some huts, and they were pretty bad. There were some real bad ones. Oh, Rotherham's change rooms are diabolical.
Yeah, I can imagine it's Titans. I can imagine because Rotherham's not exactly the nicest place on the planet anyway. So
well, it's just it's smaller than this room I'm sat in. It's ridiculous.
Is that for both change rooms, or is that just the away change room? Is it a mentality thing?
The home change room's got a rather large improvement at one point and got a little bit bigger, but they're not massive. Both change rooms are tiny.
It just shows. We'll just blame it on the fact there's no money. But when you look at the Prem and the pitch down at the Rec, Bath can't even warm up on. They've got to warm up in the park next door.
I know. It's
the Championship dressing room.
That's bizarre, isn't it? Absolutely
bizarre. So bizarre. Away from kind of paid club rugby, have we got any updates to do with any form of training, or are we going to be able to do it in more than sixes?
Yeah, so something came through from the RFU, I don't know, it was Tuesday or Wednesday this week, saying that hopefully come August we'll be able to train in larger groups, maybe bigger than we previously anticipated. I think the original protocols to return for rugby have changed a bit, but there might be opportunity to play touch and do a bit more group work, but still limited set piece play. So we still won't be able to do line out, still won't be able to do scrums and stuff like that. So for the forwards, it's going to be a bit unusual. I think the backs will almost be back to normal training styles for them. I think the forwards will be mainly scrum technique stuff, while we can't form an actual scrum.
Yeah,
and lots of touch, hopefully.
Well, by touch, for the people out there who like to play touch before training and then decide it's not touch anymore, do we still have to keep it genuinely touch?
Yes, Tom.
Yes, okay, I know what that means. That's fine. I don't think we've got anything else to report, have we? Social event 26th, but the day after this goes out, there's social event, isn't it? Is it the obstacle course this month?
The obstacle course, weather dependent now, I think.
Yeah, it doesn't look great this weekend, so keep an eye on that. I've my shorts haven't turned up from Amazon Prime yet, so
You're not allowed to go.
I might have to wear the budgie smugglers, which will be to everyone's joy. So, especially Stevie's. I don't know if you saw his comment. I said I couldn't wear a vest yesterday, and he said it can't be as bad as my shorts, which I thought was a bit of an insult. But there we go. Anyway, so let's crack on. I hope you enjoy our interview with the enigma Alex Barton. And yeah, enjoy it, and we'll catch up in a bit. So, welcome, Alex Barton. How are you?
Good, thanks, mate. You?
Yeah, good, thank you. Good. Obviously, you're our third guest on the pod. Are you as excited as Doug and Josh were, or are you not too bothered by the fame?
Well, I haven't watched them, mate, so I'm not sure.
Right.
I'm joking. Mate.
On next week's pod, we'll have someone else. So it was a good evening.
No, I'm joking, mate. Yeah, buzzing.
Good. Well, we've got some stats on you. The Guru has given us your stats for the last 4 seasons. In 86 games, you've scored 61 tries. And I've got a breakdown for you. So I just want to talk people through the breakdown. So we worked for the most recent season. You played 21 games out of 21 this season. You scored 25 tries, 5 of them against South Leicester. Do you remember all of the tries?
No, I don't, to be fair.
That's fine. Players like us don't tend to remember all our tries. It's fine. In the 18-19 season, you played 27 out of 30 and you scored 21 tries. 17-18, you played 27 out of 30 and scored 15 tries. And in the 16-17 season, you played 11 out of 29, and I was more successful at you that season. I scored tries and you scored none. So obviously you've progressed more than I have, but I'm holding the 16-17 season as a very important season in the third team. I don't know what teams you were playing for that season, but pretty prolific. You said you don't remember the tries. Do you mean to score that many tries, or did you just kind of sober up after the game and go, oh shit, I've scored?
I mean, I'd like to think they were intentional, to be fair. But sort of, 4 years ago, you sort of like outlined those stats. 4 years ago wasn't too great. I don't think I was really taking it seriously as seriously as I do now, in a sense. But yeah, most of them are pretty intentional, mate, to be fair.
Well, I'm glad you said that. Phil, you did tell me that you did take some of the points away from him.
Yeah, to be fair, in the 18-19 season when we got promoted, Alex got second highest try score, I think, with 21. And I think I got 20 and Doug got 23. So you got your centre partnership scoring 43 tries between them. The wingers don't get as much of the glory.
Yeah, I remember those stats coming out at the end of the 19 season, and just being like, because I remember watching the recording of Doug on this pass pod, and Doug saying that he knew every time I was asking him in the changing rooms, he knew that he was ahead of me, but he didn't let up that he was. So I thought I was in the lead, and then it got to the sort of end of season do, and it came out that he had won, and I remember being pretty good, to be fair.
Amazing season, but you were pissed off you weren't top try scorer. To be fair.
I mean, I beat Phil though, so I'll tell you that,
You did. You beat the 18 stone 12.
I was going to say you beat the forward.
And that's not entirely true though, is it, Phil? Because you played centre for Nottingham for a bit.
Played like 3 games when they were desperate. Yeah. Definitely wasn't 18 stone or 30 years old either.
But I mean, the first we had was very much rugby based. Last week was not rugby based, really. We're going in the middle with you, Barton, if that's all right. We have had an influx of stories and questions and stuff. I can see you starting to quiver a little bit. The 1975 kept coming up. Any reasoning behind that?
Man, what do you want to know?
Well, what happened on the night you went to see 1975 and then...
Yeah, okay. I mean, I'm not going to divulge everything, but in a nutshell, night out in Sheffield, night before a game, went to see, a famous band, 1975.
okay, just for clarification.
Yeah. Intended to be back in the hotel room by about sort of like 10, 11 o'clock. Yeah, didn't quite make it back in time, we'll say that. And then sort of flash forward a bit, the next morning, I remember being taken to, we had a game against Rugby Lions away. And at the time, I think I was, just still living at home. So my parents were taking me, thankfully.
No.
Was in no state's drive.
I was meant to be taking you.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Perhaps you can shed some light on that then, because I thought that it was my parents through and through, because my mates literally, they took me back to my house and then my parents took me to the game. So I didn't realise that we'd like arranged lifts or anything, to be fair.
I think you were going to come with me.
Yeah.
And then I messaged you in the morning saying, are you sweet to leave at 12 or whatever?
Yeah.
And you went, no. And didn't really give me an answer. And you said, I'll get there by myself. So, okay.
Oh man, that's surprising. I'm sure, like the one thing I do remember of that morning is that I'm sure I left before 12, but probably didn't, because I didn't get there on time, did I?
No, so yeah, you finish your, and I'll give you the players' side.
So I get to the game against Rugby Lions, and obviously give you a bit more context here. So this is our sort of promotion winning season. So there's a lot at stake here, and every game is a must win. We're sort of at the top with Kettering, fighting over the automatic. Get over to Rugby Lions. I'm late. On the journey there, I had a message from Nathan. In fact, I actually sent him a message telling him I was going to be late. He said, "Is this a joke?" And I was like, I think he said like, "Oh, have you been raped or something like that? Facebook raped." And I was like, "No, I'm going to be late, mate. Sorry." So I got there, and I was literally, it was like 5-10 minutes before kickoff. There was no one in the changing room, sort of like staggered around trying to find our changing rooms. Got there eventually. Saw, I think the only people that were in the changing rooms at the time were Stevie, who was having some strapping done, some sort.
He could have been there for about an hour. You wouldn't have known.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously Kim was there with him, helping him with the strapping. So I got there, and I remember looking at Stevie, and I didn't say anything. Stevie looked straight back at me, didn't say anything either, and he just gave me the shittest look going. And I kind of like looked at him, and then like sort of I couldn't bear it, so I just sort of like looked away, looked at the floor, and at that point I was like, shit, like I've fucked up here. So then like I remember talking to Kim straight after, because like, I couldn't bear to go outside and sort of like, be with all the lads, to be fair, because I knew that I'd screwed up. So I remember talking to Kim, and Kim literally just gave me a load of food to try and sort of like, because I was feeling really ill at the time, so she's trying to sort of like not sober me up, but make me feel a bit better, line my stomach a bit. So obviously seeing her, and then I came outside and just sort of like sat on the bench for the rest of the game. The game started, I was just there on the bench watching. The rest of it's a blur, really, to be honest. I know that we won the game, and I think Christian Murphy, it was lucky because Christian Murphy, fellow winger, was meant to be, I don't think he was meant to be playing, but last minute Nathan called for him to be on the bench. Thankfully he turned up and he was on the bench. And obviously I wasn't in a state to play, so he literally just a straight swap. And I remember sort of like midway through the game, Chris scored a try, and I remember my name being called out on the tannoy. And I was, yeah, so like, that's pretty much all I remember from the game, apart from every now and then Nathan would turn to me and just be like, Bart, just keep drinking water, mate. That's literally about it, to be honest. And then after the game, talking to a couple of the lads, I think we stopped the game once we finished and we won, thankfully. Although it was a tight game, then, you know, we would have fought looking at that game ahead. So, yeah, I remember sort of like walking into the change rooms and just literally just saying like, lads, so sorry, just like apologizing to everyone, because obviously, like, as I said earlier, every game was a big game. So I was just like massively sort of like annoyed with myself and the fact that I could have let the team down as well. So I just felt like I had to sort of like go and apologise to them. And I give credit to Mount Call here as well, because he did advise me to do the same. So I was talking to him about it and he said you should go in and do it. So yeah, fair play. Yeah, but that's it in a nutshell. I don't know if Phil has anything more to add.
I was going to say, yeah. Philip.
So because I received that sort of blank text message of no, and you text me just saying no, and then I was like, oh, that's weird. Oh well, maybe like he's going off somewhere afterwards or whatever. So I drove to the game, and I think Nige might have been the only person to arrive before me. I was there quite early. Sat down, let's start filtering in, and Nathan walks over to me. And obviously, me and Nathan do quite a lot of private talking during match days and stuff. He goes, Barton's just messaged me saying that he's not going to be here on time. And I was like, oh, what a fucking prick. He's fucking useless. I told him he should get this with me. And then anyway, we obviously didn't know what had happened. And then it slowly became clearer and clearer that Barton had been out. I think some of the lads knew you were going to the 1975 or something.
You know what?
Or Christian knew, or something like that.
I think Josh knew, because I remember him sending me a Snapchat before. I think it was, I was in the hotel room ready to go out, and he sent me a Snapchat saying like, oh, don't forget you got a game tomorrow, Barton. So I think Josh knew.
Oh, right, so it might be Josh. So we were all like, well, he's gone and got pissed, or, you know, or something bad's happened to him in the hotel or whatever. So we were all like, oh, for fuck's sake. So we kind of had already, we didn't think he was going to get there for kickoff. So we'd already kind of conceived that we were having to play this game with 17 players rather than 18, and get ourselves ready. So from like the players' point of view, we'd already sort of put it down to a loss, if you like, the Barton wasn't going to play. So I just remember, I can't remember when we found out that it was because he was pissed. I think it might have been just before we went out to warm up or something. And everyone was just like, what a prick, fucking idiot. It was quite funny. And then, yeah, it was just, the game was actually not that close, which shows how bad Barton was. We ran away with it quite a lot, and then they scored 2 late tries, which were sort of just because we were a bit fatigued, and you know the game was over. So it wasn't that close a game, but yeah, it definitely scarred Barton for a while, I think, with his.
Still scarred, mate. Honestly, still scarred.
Well, you still do the kit, don't you?
At the end of every game, Tom,
yeah,
it's literally who's on kit. And then there'll be like some of the lads who, you know, screwed up in the game, their names will be put forward, and then at the end of it, it's always 1975. It's always brought up.
Well, I think it really.
So if the rules are, if you get yellow carded or red carded, you're on kit.
It's fair enough.
Which is fair enough. But anytime there's no red cards or yellow cards or like an absolute catastrophic incident that someone should be reprimanded for, everyone just goes, who's on kit? And then it was like, Barton's on kit.
To be fair, I think I made up for it now, but each their own, eh?
You've got another 10 years, mate, I think.
Well, I mean, I do think you've got there's a lot of dicks as well that are just going to keep me filtering down the teams in about 5 years' time, 10 years' time, and you'll still be able to do kit if you want to do kit. I mean, we're happy with that. But, I mean, this season, You can come and do the kick for the threes if you want. It would save Tom Casey a job. But I mean, this season, you can't have drank that much this season because obviously to big you up after you look like you've shot yourself down with the 1975, you were named player of the season for the league. So from going from not remembering the score of a Rugby Lions game to managing to pull out that this season, how did that feel?
Yeah, pretty good to be fair, mate. It was weird actually because when it was announced, it was literally like a week or two into lockdown. So I was buzzing obviously to get that mention, but at the same time, like a couple of days had passed and it's sort of like, well, I couldn't celebrate it.
Yeah.
So, and we had no end of season due either. So it was bittersweet in a way.
Yeah. To be fair, I think if there was an end of season due, we probably wouldn't have mentioned it, if I'm honest. We'll let that one go under the rug.
Fair enough.
It was a strange end, wasn't it? I mean, as a team, we were 10th, I think, in the league when it closed, or maybe 11th. But we were in the top 5 for points scored, and it was just maybe our defence letting us down, or just the fact that we were a bit naive to the level of the league that we were playing in. It was first year in the league above. A lot of the lads hadn't played that high level, and it was all a bit new. But yeah, for Barton to score 25 in 21 is although 5 of them were against South Leicester, sorry, that is pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, even without that 5, still quite impressive, isn't it? Really, took that game.
Pushing lads, cheers.
That's all right. And
as a winger, though, he's not created any of it, has he? He's just.
Here we go.
But I mean, quite a lot of the time, you hear interviews with people who tend to score a lot of tries, and what's the secret? What's the build up to your game? And I'd like to know, because I clearly struggle with eating. What do you find to be the best thing to eat before a game as preparation? What's your
Well, Thomas, I'm glad you've asked me that, mate. Because, well, actually, if you would have asked me that last year, the answer would have been very plain, simple: cheese and onion crisps.
Peng.
It's random, I know. But so last season, I was very much in a mindset of superstition, let's say. So I remember having a pack before a game and doing extremely well. So off the back of that, I just ended up having them before the start of every game. And, it's sort of something, it's mentally, isn't it? It just sort of made me a bit stronger. Even if physically crisps aren't the best thing to eat, it was just sort of like that routine.
Yeah.
I know it sounds a bit crazy, but yeah, that was my routine last year.
I do understand it because every time I start work, I have a Rustlers, and I've not had that bad day at work since. So I have a Rustlers every morning, and it's a successful day. So I do understand what you're doing, but it sounds like you changed your diet, your pre-match. Please tell me you've changed your pre-match nutrition.
I have, mate. I have. I tend to sort of like, it's a bit more boring, but a bit of fruit before a game now. I'll tell you what, I am struggling with these sort of pre-season training sessions though. Like, I've no idea what to eat and when to eat because of how late the sessions are. It's disgusting. And the amount of running that Phil and Nathan are making us do. Horrible.
Yesterday, I did go for a quick tactical chunder over the fence because my pesto pasta and spicy pork was on its way up. I think it was only the second. Was it the second or third? I think it might have been the second fitness bit in the box, and I was just like, "No, it's coming, it's coming." But I mean, do you notice Phil didn't do much yesterday at training again? You notice he just walked around.
I did. As a matter of fact, I did, Tom. Yeah. Yeah,
just with Guru and his clipboard. It was just the 3 of you yesterday: clipboard, Phil, and Guru. That's all we needed.
Possession, isn't it?
It's just Nave don't want it. What's your pre-match nutrition, Phil?
When I was younger, and we had a home game at Nottingham, I would always have. So we kicked off normally at 3 p.m. on a Sunday. I'd normally have chicken and chips at about 11:30, which is literally some of the worst nutrition before a game.
Oh, yeah.
But I was like 19, 20, 21, and didn't really matter. I was going to run around headless, whatever. And then I don't really eat, to be honest, on a match day now. I'll have breakfast at about 10, and that'll be me until after the game.
Wow.
Just not got a very good stomach for it.
That's fair. You two clearly do a lot more running than I do, because I think I could eat in the warm-up and I'd probably be all right for the game.
Well, Barton used to have his crisps literally in the changing room, like while we were getting ready.
Oh, in the changing room?
Yeah.
When you get there about half an hour early before you need to, just trotting around, relaxing, then you have it in the changing room.
He's he's changed, ready to go, and he's eating crisps.
Fantastic.
It was the superstition. Like, I mean, if I had had a bad game, then I would have stopped, obviously. But the performances kept coming, lads.
I think he coined a phrase. I think it was away at Melton when we absolutely pooned them. He came up with this. He coined a phrase, and he went, "Yeah, it's superstition over nutrition."
I'll correct you there, Phil. So, pretty much right, but that was the season that it was literally superstition. But then last season, the year that we were first in the Midlands Premier, I changed my diet to sort of fruit before a game, and that's when it became nutrition over superstition.
Oh, I do apologise.
Yeah.
Apologise.
You got it.
I tell you what, I do like superstition over nutrition, though. I have to get that tattooed in my lower back, so when I bend over, I know why I am like I am. That's good. I mean, so it's not going too bad then. So player of the season, your nutrition's going well. Something else I want to ask you about, Bart, before we move on to a different section. Your love life. There's a girl on the scene.
There is. Yeah.
I mean, after your last 3 seasons, we don't really want her to impact your playing. But apart from yourself, who in the first team squad does she find attractive, if anyone? I doubt she'll listen to this, mate. I won't worry about it.
I'll tell you what, I'm glad you ruled the third team out, mate, because obviously you'd be up there, you know, and that would have been embarrassing.
She's not been. I don't think she's allowed close to me, if I'm honest. I've restraining orders on females.
You know what? I did actually. Funny you should mention this. I did actually ask her this very question recently.
Why?
All right. Apart from me, out of my mates, who's fit? Who would you have a go on?
It was to that effect. It wasn't as sort of like blunt as that. But
yeah.
You know, you get into weird conversations, don't you? But we whether she's lying or not is a different story. But we came to the conclusion that she doesn't. So, all good.
Well, that wasn't the question, was it?
No.
Well, yeah. I mean, if she's going for looks, and this is personally from my point of view, if you're going for looks, you're going down the Christian Murphy line, aren't you? The guy's a model.
Oh, he is.
And whatever. But if you actually want to talk to someone that doesn't sound and have the personality of a wall, then I don't know. It's tough. I won't say that we haven't got any good-looking lads, but we've got a lot of good lads.
and a lot of boring lads. It's a bit of a need. Maybe you do need to delve into the third team. I'm not sure.
Yeah, you might have to. Well, the twos is a waste of time.
Oh, you don't go to the twos. We're all about 12 anyway.
Never seen a vagina.
Me or Daddy Peck. Take a pick.
I'll I'm going to stick my neck on the line. I think it'd be wrong not to mention Casey at this point as well.
Casey?
Oh,
Yeah, he's got to be up there.
He's fine, but he does look like a copy of a Picasso painting sometimes. His face doesn't look great. Depends though. He's not happy today anyway.
It's fair, Tom. If you lost a bit of your ear, mate, you'd look like a Van Gogh.
What, could do this? Was it him that did the scream? I'm not very good at my culture.
I think someone at training said, I think they likened you to, well, I likened you to Tyson Fury, Tom.
Yeah.
Then someone then sort of coined on and said, during meltdown though, or pre-comeback Tyson Fury.
Yeah, pre-comeback Tyson Fury. When I was in Medway a few weeks ago, I was walking just along our main road, just at the bottom of our road, and I can't think of a better word, bellend, was like, "Oh, that Tyson Fury," outside of out of his van window, and didn't feel too comfortable with that. I felt like I was getting catcalled. I do apologise to all women who experienced that in a non-sarcastic way, because it's not very nice. Moving on before I get myself into trouble, Phil. Have you a package?
We do have a one this week for Alex. So if we dive straight in, so just give us a nice quick answer, Barton. Red or green?
Red.
Pint of or bottle of beer?
Pint.
Not sure I believe you there. Favourite rugby position?
Winger.
Animal hospital or cartoon club?
I have no idea what that's in reference to, so cartoon club.
This will be interesting to see who does know what that is reference to. Boobs or butt?
Bum.
Christian or Flanners?
Oh, boys. No comment.
No, we're not having that.
It doesn't work like that.
I mean, okay, so I think I've known Flanners for longer. So on that basis, Flanners.
Lovely. 15s or 7s?
15s.
Favourite team to play against?
Bournemouth.
Ooh. And of course, Jonty or Jim?
I need to keep Jonty on side, so Jonty.
Why do you need to keep Jonty on side?
I gave him whiplash at training.
I mean,
we do socially distance at training. And
this was ages ago, mate.
Oh, right, okay. Just to clarify. There's some solid answers there.
Yeah.
We've not had many boob preferers, have we?
No, but so Dougie's he deliberated on it a little bit.
He did.
Josh didn't at all.
No.
And Barton did a bit there, but I think Barton's gone like, what's my girlfriend got?
I think,
I need to make sure I say.
Yeah. You said but, so we're not going to divulge into that.
Yeah, that's not.
No, I'm going to go, I'd go but then I don't think really I've got too much of a choice. My rule, I used to tell people my rule is mine have to be bigger. That was my only... It didn't rule out many. Moving on from the horrible talk of boobs and bum. For next season, how do you think we're going to look when we start playing again, Bart?
I think we'll do all right, to be honest, mate. Obviously, last season we were sort of helped a bit because we had South Leicester and Peterborough Lions that were in a bit of a state coming down from the league above. So automatically that removes two spots from relegation. So this season might be tricky, yeah. But looking at the teams that have come up from the division below, I think we've beaten them in the past. I think we can beat them again, like sort of Syston, Oundle, Dudley. Obviously, Dudley, we beat them in the playoff game, so I know we can beat them. Oundle, we beat them twice the last time we were in division below. Correct me if I'm wrong, Phil. And then Syston, the last time we played them was sort of like 2-3 years ago, but I remember it being very close, and we weren't the team that we are now. So those are 3 teams already that I know we can beat. So I think we've got a good chance of staying up again. I don't know what sort of like Phil and Nathan have in mind for the season, but for me, I think a respectable end would be sort of mid-tables, something like that. I think.
Yeah, it's going to be an odd season, whatever happens, isn't it? Because we're not playing the league like we normally play the league anyway, so it's going to be quite an odd one. I think you're right. Mid-table finish for me would be good. I think we played well in games against the top teams last year, and then maybe let ourselves down against teams that we should have or could have beaten. So, interesting to see what we learn about that this year. But I think the priority this year is just to strengthen the team again and teach these new lads that we've got coming in that what Premier Rugby is about, or Midlands Premier Rugby is about.
Yeah, it's a whole different ball game, isn't it? I mean, just watching from the sideline, you can tell it's a different game, really. And them teams that are going to come up, I agree. I do think you're probably going to find some games easier than others, but no game's easy. But you are going to be able to really show people that we are now an established club in that league.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was really good that we stayed up. To be fair, because obviously, a lot of people are sort of paying players at this level, and we're fully amateur. So I thought it was a really good achievement to stay up. And actually, going into that league, obviously, I wanted to do really well, but at the same time, I was sort of in the back of my mind, I was like, are we maybe going to be in contention for relegation this year? So I thought we did quite well considering.
It was quite a lot of final 10, wasn't it? Final 10, final 15. Was it one of them seasons of games?
Yeah. Well, the game got away from us in that final 10 minutes. If we were in the game, I think it was just a lot of lads got caught out by the speed at which other teams play, and we were probably lacking a little bit in size as well. So yeah, it was all a learning curve. I'm sure the lads will bounce on this year.
Yeah, definitely. And something Nathan mentioned to me, just on the terms of size, quite a lot through lockdown, there's been adverts on Facebook and stuff about how to keep yourself fit in lockdown, how to trim lockdown pounds. If anyone wants help kind of fattening up, I'm going to start running a course for £25 for 5 hours of how to become a fatty in 3 weeks. So I'll put the details on the page for that as well. Just as a bit of self-promo.
A bit quicker than that, can't you?
3 weeks?
Yeah.
That's just because I can't be bothered to do a video every week. Cool.
So what's your worst rugby memory, Barton? Apart from, okay, you can't put rugby lines away, because we've already had that story.
There's a couple. Going way back, I'd say this is quite embarrassing as well, actually, but I'll say it anyway. No shame. We're at Ilkeston, and I think it was like a minis festival or something like that. And I remember, must have been about 12, 13, something like that. And I remember sort of dropping my gum shield and then sort of like picking it up, putting it back in my mouth. This is horrible, but yeah, it didn't taste. Yeah, it tasted like literally shit, like literally.
Sorry, that might have been my fault.
But no, yeah, it's probably like dog poo or something like that. But yeah, that was shit times. Quite literally.
I hope. How old were you? So you were in the minis at the time?
Yeah, I mean, it was contact, but it was like one of those sort of like minis festivals. So I reckon I was about sort of like 11 or 12 at the time.
Oh, okay. I just had this vision of some 7-year-old jogging past you, turning back and just going, "Eat shit," and then.
I think you're giving the people of Ilkeston far too much appreciation there, Tom.
Yeah, they're not as quick witty banter as us knots, as us Southerners and you knots. That your worst is shitty gum shield.
That's pretty bad.
That is pretty bad.
That's just another reason why I don't wear a gum shield.
Yeah, same. It's not just
Well,
I gag on it. It's just because I don't want to have shit in my mouth.
Yeah.
People pay for that. Anyway, that was your worst rugby moment. That was your worst rugby moment. What was your best rugby moment? This is very funny.
Oh, mate. It's got to be... I've probably got about 3 here. Can I give you 3?
Yeah.
Do what you
Those
want.
are good.
If there's only one good one, we'll just cut 2 out anyway.
Well, to be fair, this one we've already talked about, obviously Midlands Player of the Year, so I'll take that. That's one. Another one was promotion to the Mids Pro. That was obviously a big day for everyone involved. Crazy day. It was amazing. Sorry?
On that one, who was the first person you high-fived, hugged, jumped on at the final whistle?
I have no idea, mate. I
can't remember.
You don't remember, really?
Go on, Phil. Who was it? Let me guess. It was you.
No. I don't know who you. It was me and George.
Right.
But I was just wondering if you'd remembered who you'd.
Well, the thing is, I wasn't on the pitch, so I got subbed off for the last 10.
Ah, right.
Tom winning. So I went off, and then obviously the whistle went, and I came running back on, and I can't remember who I ran at, but I think George Billam was up there. To be fair, I think I went to him first because he obviously played really well that game. So I think I might have went to him. But yeah, that was a really good day. To be fair, and the way that like that playoff game was, so like I think I would have preferred that way of promotion rather than sort of winning outright, because we all hinged on that one day, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean. So there was like 80 minutes, and then you either got it or you haven't. Thankfully, we got it, and it was just sort of like, honestly, jubilation. It was the scenes in the changing room after were insane. I think I prefer that way of getting promoted than the normal way, to be honest.
Yeah.
So that was one of them. That's 2, and then the third one was probably. Actually, I've really enjoyed this game. Leighton Buzzard away. Promotion winning season. Phil was laughing because I think he thinks he might get a mention here. So everything is an away trip to Leighton Buzzard. We're obviously fighting for promotion. It's sort of us and Kettering at the top, and we need to win this game to ensure. I think it was a home advantage in the playoff. And literally, it's an hour and a half trip. Everything went wrong for us in this game. So we forgot our kit for one in the middle of the game.
That game.
Yeah,
so I was away with the 2s, and we go into the back of the car, and we've got the first team kit. Was it that one?
Yes.
We're about to meet you halfway. Yeah.
So we had to play in Leighton Buzzard's away kit, which was bright yellow. So yeah, we're playing that, and then something else that happened in the game was I think that Phil, you went off injured, and we had to put a flanker and Jim Reeson in the centres. So we had a flanker playing inside centre. So and I'll tell you what, like their home ground, I'd say, is a bit of a fortress. So like they're much better at home than they are away, I'd say, and their pitch is a bit different, I would say. So they were playing really well on the day, and obviously we've had all these sort of like errors leading up to the game and during the game, and it's sort of neck and neck. It's very up and down. So we score, they score, we score, they score, and then they got a try in like sort of like I think it was like the 3rd to last minute, something like that, or the fifth, in the last 5 minutes, and they thought, right, that's it, we've won the game. And I think a lot of us boys did as well. And then we sort of, I think we caught the kickoff. We caught the kickoff off the back of that, and although that doesn't make sense, does it? Because we would have. I think we would have. Hang on. Yeah, we would have taken the kickoff if we had conceded points. So we must have got like 3 points in between or something like that. So they then kicked to us, caught the ball, and then it's sort of like a couple of phases down the line, minutes to go. They shipped the ball out wide to, I think it was Dougie, and Dougie's thrown a beautiful pass to myself, who I was playing fullback on the day because Mole wasn't playing. I can't remember why. But
you can't remember why Mole wasn't playing?
I thought I'd spare his blushes.
Oh.
I was going to say, we're just being politically correct there, because everyone...
Yeah. Let's gloss over that. So, yeah, he's passed the ball out wide, and then I've got the ball, and I've sort of like gone on a bit of a mazy run, and then that's in Nigel Yule's words, by the way. I'm not sort of like trying to blow my own trumpet. But then, like, I've kicked the ball, I've gone past like a player or two, and I've kicked the ball into the corner, like sort of as a crossfield grubber. And Christian Murphy's come on and picked it up and scored the try. And that was sort of the last minute.
Sorry,
say again?
Sorry, Phil looks like he wants to interject quite quickly. So before he Phil, would you like to air your opinion on this?
So, as Barton's correct, so I went down twice in the first half, getting 2 very unfortunate knocks to the head area. Not being knocked out, but enough to make me stay on the floor for a couple of seconds, because first one, their guys just like caught me with his shoulder in my head as I'm going to pick up the ball. And I thought he'd like split my nose or my eye or whatever. So I remember being on the floor like holding my face. And the second time I've gone to like take this kick, get up in the air. As I've come back down, Dougie was just going full tilt, has gone straight through the same part of my face. So I've gone down. And their physio has been very clever and said that's the second time he's gone down with a head injury. He's got to go off. And the ref just wouldn't listen to what I was saying. So I had to go off after like 25 minutes. Like the most frustrating 25 minutes anyway, because we just could not finish a move. Anyway, jumping forward, Barton's on this mazy run. To be fair, Barton, all your runs are mazy because you look like you don't know where you're going. You're the one player I've ever played with. But I'm like, does he know which way we're attacking? and I'm on the sideline with Nathan, and I'm going, yes, Barton's made a break here. All he has to do, I think you only had one man to beat, and you've been doing that all year for fun. So like, all he's got to do now is beat this bloke. And Barton is not known for his kicking game, mainly because he doesn't have one. And he's on the left, so he's attacking up the hill on the left-hand side. Christian Murphy's playing right wing, and Barton is 60 yards away or 55 yards away from Christian at this point. Barton just turned into the midfield, and I thought, he's just going to gas him and score. And I just saw him like bringing this ball out to kick it, and I'm just like, what is he doing? Like, what is he doing? And the kick has, I mean, it was not a nice kick. It was ugly.
Come on.
It's gone literally a yard perfect of where it should have been. It's bounced up into Christian's hand, 2 yards off the line, and Christian scored. There is not a fucking chance that Barton has aimed for that part of the pitch.
Bullshit.
Because there is 50 yards between Barton and the touchline, and Barton's put it 1 yard off the touchline, and Christian has done very well to gather it one-handed and score. There is no way Barton, if you look to fly hack that, then play on, because Christian probably would have won the race anyway and would have run onto it. But I'm not letting you have the fact that you have placed this kick with such precision. The way you kicked it.
Did you need to kick it?
Well, at that point, I wasn't too good at passing off my left hand. So I'd come across the pitch and I've seen Christian, and I thought, like, if it was my right hand, I probably would have passed it. But I've seen him and I thought, I've probably got a better chance with my boot here. And I've just sort of like, it was almost instinctive, honestly, Tom. Don't ignore everything that Phil said. It was instinctive.
To be fair, mate, I completely get the whole instinct of games. I've spoken about my performance at 12 at Newark this season. It's just instinct. But so, because this was the promotion season, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you finished on how many tries?
Say again?
How many tries did you finish on that season? 21?
Yeah, 21.
How many did Dougie finish on?
23.
23. Oh, okay. See, it's decisions like that, mate, which cost you top try scorer. If you discussed him...
But the noise on the sideline...
Unselfish boys.
The noise on the sideline in that move was ridiculous. So, like, yeah, go on, Barton. And as he's dropped it to kick it, Mineth be like, what are you doing? And this kick is like, it's like dead ducked, it's like wibbled, it's pinged off the end. It's like done every type of bounce a rugby ball can do.
You see, I'd argue it went straight and true.
Yeah, but you would. And it's literally bounced into Christian's hands. And we've celebrated like mad, but I'm like, it's the closest I've been to a heart attack because I was so angry so quickly. And then elation seconds later.
Are we going to talk about what you told me before the game as well, Phil?
Feel free, Barton.
You'd have to remind me, I think.
Your pod, mate.
Conveniently forgot, I see. So, before the game, obviously I'm playing out of position at fullback. Phil has turned to me in the warm-up and said, right, Barton, don't fucking kick it.
No, that sounds about right.
I just thought I had to mention that, you know.
Well, that's sound coaching advice.
I think it's very sound coaching advice. I mean, there's been forwards in their time at pro level where they've kicked and it's come off, but they've still, I'm sure, got dick of the day at the end of it. But I think that's probably some sound coaching advice for you and some sound coaching advice to finish on as well. If you can't kick, don't fucking kick it. Thanks for tonight, Barton. It was nice to chat to you. And just remember, no gigs on a Friday night. Cheese and onion crisps, there's no kicking, and you'll be an even better player next season.
Nice one, lads. Really enjoyed it. Cheers.
Anytime.
Cheers, mate.
So that was, again, an interesting one. No dancing this week, which I'm quite thankful for. A long chat about 1975. I still don't know why a fully grown man goes to watch 1975, if I'm honest.
I don't think I know any songs by the 1975.
No, I don't either. For me, it seems weird. I did actually, I was scrolling through a dating app yesterday, and I did see someone put they did like 1975, and I was very close to messaging them saying, are you a fan of cheese and onion crisp? Because my friend may need a backup after Saturday. But I wasn't witty enough to do it, and I didn't have the balls. But yeah, so, I mean, that's Alex Barton. Can't explain it any other way, can you really?
No, social pariah.
Social pariah. Well, next week it's going to be an horrible pod next week. He doesn't know. He's going to get really excited when he hears this. Jonty Green is going to be on. It's his birthday as we record this. So he's probably going to be really excitable when we record. I'm sorry. Now I'm already sorry that we suggested this.
I think we'll get a lot of questions off the back of having Jonty on though. Yeah,
a lot of questions, Facebook, Insta. You can message us privately if you know us privately, which most of you do. We're still not on LinkedIn, so not LinkedIn.
No, don't LinkedIn yet, no.
LinkedIn. We do have a Twitter, but I keep forgetting we have a Twitter. So
we do, at PabsPod.
Very easy to remember. Follow and we'll start putting content on there. Same at PabsPod. So any questions, Johnny, get them in and we'll speak to you next week. Have you got any wise words, Phil, for the week?
Wear a mask, stay safe.
Wear a mask.
Kill the virus, or whatever the government's calling it now.
Just kill the virus. Right. See you later.